And good morning, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday. I hope you're having a great midweek. I hope things are going well for you. Welcome to Casual Coffee with Ken and Ken in the Kitchen episode today. I was originally going to be doing a different recipe, but a couple of the ingredients that I ordered online aren't going to actually make it here until tomorrow. So I will have to do that recipe on Friday. So today, as a kind of a backup, last minute switch out, I'm going to attempt to follow Corina's Snickerdoodle recipe. And I don't know where she got it from. I will ask. And she kind of rewrote the recipe for my dumb brain so that I could read it and correctly interpret all the steps, because she had another version of the recipe that she wrote just for her. She's been doing this recipe for years, and so there's a lot of stuff she had left out of that I had lots of questions on. So she helpfully rewrote it for me, and I will at some point transcribe it and put it in the description for you guys. I don't know if that'll be today or not, but it will happen soon. So anyway, welcome to the show. If you're new here, I am trying to teach myself how to cook. Corina has done the bulk of the cooking in our relationship, and I've done the bulk of the cleaning and being her sous chef. So I really want to do more in the kitchen, and yeah, so that's kind of how this whole show came to be, and yeah. So there you go. That's kind of why I'm doing this. And thanks, Sean, for that comment. Yeah, very Yoda of you. So yeah, and as I'm learning how to cook and how to bake, I am also learning how to live stream. So this is all just one giant work in progress. But thanks for joining me on this adventure. I appreciate you doing that. The force is with me. Thank you. Let's certainly hope so, because I love Snickerdoodles and I don't want to mess them up. As you can see, I can see your comments in my monitor, and so if you're new here, or even if you're not, just say hi. It's fun when people say hi, and if you do choose to do that, let me know where in the world you are watching from, because that's the fun part about doing a live stream versus a video. Just that immediate interaction. I love that, especially now with the quarantine and everything. But even if you're watching the replay, I think you can still comment, so please do. And yeah, without any further ado, as I get a tickle in my throat, which is annoying. I am so sorry. I should Sandy Taylor, hi from Oregon. Well, hi, Sandy. My friend Sean, who you might have seen his comment just a couple seconds ago, he's also from Oregon. Oh my gosh. I cannot believe this is happening to my voice right now. All right, so Snickerdoodle recipe. Let's go ahead and we'll go over to the prep area real quick. And we'll see what we are working with here. What are we working with here? All right, a lot of stuff. There's so much stuff here. It's kind of intimidating to a noob like myself, but here we go. So for the topping, the coating for the Snickerdoodles, it's a mixture of about 3 tablespoons of sugar and 2+ teaspoons of cinnamon. I'm just going to tiny whisk that together. I use a little more cinnamon, or rather Corina uses a little more cinnamon because we really like cinnamon. And so that's what I'm kind of doing here, is just following her lead on this. You can adjust this as per your preferences for taste here. As far as kind of cinnamon, it doesn't really matter. We are very partial to McCormick's roasted cinnamon. It really does seem to have a better, a deeper cinnamon flavor than regular quote unquote cinnamon. So yeah, that's for the coating. And then for the wet ingredients, we're going to be using a cup of shortening, which works out to, if you're weighing it, 190 grams. And you'll notice that this is a mixture of butter flavored shortening and regular shortening, and that's because I did not properly check the availability of shortening here in our kitchen before I started this, so I had to mix shortenings. Should not affect the end product. I've been assured of that. We're going to be using a lot of flour. We're going to be using sugar, and of course you have cream of tartar. Again, whatever brand you prefer. I don't think there's a lot of difference, honestly, between cream of tartar brands. And then you've got baking soda, and then of course salt. So let's go ahead and oh, and then for the, yeah, I'm blathering. Okay, so I've already preheated my oven. Let's go ahead and we're going to mix the wet ingredients into the stand mixer. So that's going to be sugar, shortening, and then eggs. So let's see here. We're doing shortening. That's 1 1/2 cups of sugar. So here we go. 1. Come on. It's not quite 1. So what do you do when you're trying to scoop and it's not scooping all the way? I guess I could use something else to kind of top that off. I've heard that you have to be very exact in baking, so I'm trying to be exact here. Okay, so there's 1. And then 1/2. I shouldn't eyeball this, right? So I'm going to go back over here and get my 1/2 cup measuring cup. And this is probably going to be easier to fill up, right? Because it's smaller. Oh yeah. All right, so 1 1/2 cup of sugar in the thing. And then we've got the 1 cup of shortening. So I can cover the sugar back up. Not going to need that. And we just yeet the shortening into the mixing bowl. And now she advised me to go ahead and cream the shortening and the sugar together for a bit first. And she did warn me that this might take a couple of minutes. I guess the entire reason for doing this is to have the sugar punch little holes in the shortening. So that's what I guess we're trying to do here. That's starting to look kind of fluffy, I think. And of course, because I used some of the butter flavored shortening, it's going to look a little yellow. But again, shouldn't affect the end product from what I was told. Sandy, I'm curious, have you made Snickerdoodles before? I feel like I'm probably the only guy, the only person on the planet that hasn't made Snickerdoodles before. And it's kind of weird because I would have bet that there was vanilla flavor in here, but I guess most Snickerdoodle recipes don't use vanillas. What's that look like? That's starting to look pretty fluffy, I think. So I guess now supposed to add the eggs one at a time, so wish me luck with this. Oh, yay. Okay, there's one. She said that should be on medium. And then just kind of keep going until it's completely incorporated. And then once that happens, you add the other egg. That's pretty good there. Okay, this is actually kind of fun. I think that's coming together pretty good. Yeah, I'm enjoying that. Okay. Um, okay, so we've got that. She did advise me I might want to scrape down the sides of the bowl. So let's go ahead and do that. I have seen that for these KitchenAid stand mixers, they now make a paddle attachment that has the little rubber parts along the edge that basically scrapes the bowl for you, so you don't have to do this step. Certainly, I don't bake enough to warrant doing that, but maybe, I mean, Corina does, so maybe I should get that for her so that it's a little less of an arduous process for her. Okay, so now I need to put together the wet, no, those are the wet ingredients, the dry ingredients. So for doing that, she recommended that I sift everything together. She said you don't have to, but that's what she's always done, and it seems to have worked very well because we have had some very yummy Snickerdoodle cookies in the past. I think I'm done with the scale for now, so let's go ahead, swap this out, and let's look at the dry. So this is going to be 2 3/4 cups of flour. And the thing that, whoops, sorry about that, that's loud. The thing that we have learned here, especially at high altitude, is to scoop the flour out and then, and of course you can't see this, darn it. There we go. To scoop the flour and then using the actual measuring cup and then sweeping off, because it seems to make a difference here in higher altitude to do it that way. All right, so 2 3/4 cups of flour. Okay, so put that there. That's 1, and then 2. And then we need 3/4 of a cup. So it's the 1/4 cup measure. Three-quarters. So 1, 2, 3. This feels like a lot of flour, doesn't it? Okay. All right. And then we've got 2 teaspoons of the cream of tartar. So I think we're done with the flour for now, or like completely. Let's put this over here. Okay, cream of tartar. That's 2 teaspoons. All right. I hope I have enough and I don't have to open a brand new thing. Let's see what I can do here. Kind of pour it over the sink. Okay, so there's 1. Do I have enough for 2? Come on. 2. All right, I think that'll work. And now 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Okay, easy enough. And then 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Always surprised by how much salt goes into anything baked. Okay, so that's the dry, so now I just have to sift all this together. Again, I don't know that this matters, but Corina really likes doing this, so I trust her judgment because she makes good stuff. It's like snow, but really different. And those pieces just aren't going to sift. Okay, that's probably fine. Let me go ahead now, and we're supposed to slowly add the dry into the wet. And she advised me that I would probably be better off trying to do this by using the paper plate method. Since paper plates are infinitely more flexible than regular plates, of course, it should be easier to dump everything in. So let's see. So whisk together and then set mixer to low and add dry ingredients. Okay. So then I guess I'm supposed to let it incorporate and then scrape down the sides of the bowl. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of flour. Look at that didn't get in there. I know people watching this are going to be, boy, he makes making cookies look really difficult, and it's not really. But this is what happens when you're a noob in the kitchen. Come on, get off there. Okay. So now, just do some more of that. I'm trying to work clean as I go, and that's easier said than done, I'm finding, for me at least. All right, so. Yeah, sorry if I'm going too slow for you. I'm really nervous about messing this up. But I did at least preheat my oven already, so that part should go very quickly. So if you do this and you don't have a stand mixer, how do you do this? Do you just use a hand mixer in a bowl? I imagine that would be the way to do it, right? Okay. Scrape down the bowl again. Get all this stuff off the paddle. Look at that flour. It's amazing to me how much. I guess it's because I'm not doing it too fast. So it just kind of sits there on top of the thing. I guess maybe I should try turning up the speed a little bit. I mean, not a lot, because I have seen shows where people have done that and flour and, everything just goes everywhere. That's not good eats either. Oh my gosh, I'm so bad at this. Okay, come on, get off my finger. Dumb thing. There we go. All right, so since I'm starting it on low, I don't see why I can't just do this, right? Why can't I just add it in while it's not moving? And then just start it slow, and it should be okay, right? It seems like it's going pretty good. I don't know, it's starting to look like cookie dough to me. Okay, so one last thing, almost done. I'll do this one more time. It's all on the paddle now, that's funny. Okay. So is using shortening traditional, or do people usually use butter with their Snickerdoodle recipes? Because as far as I can remember, we've only ever used shortening. So I don't even know how you would do this with butter. Wouldn't the texture be weird? I would think it would be a little weird. All right, last go. Looks like it's finally coming together. Yay. Awesome. Okay. I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm going to say that's pretty good. Okay. All right. So now we get to the sort of fun part, I think. It's supposed to be. And that is scooping everything and then rolling them in the cinnamon sugar. Okay, so I guess I can take the plate I was just using for the flour, I'll put that there. Let's lower this. Let's knock all this stuff off of the paddle. If you're smarter than the paddle, can. I have to say, by and large, I really do prefer, I think, baking to cooking, because, yeah, baking is exact. In cooking, there's a lot of what I would just call winging it. Okay, so we've got that. Now we can scoop, and Corina always uses a small disher for this part. And I washed my hands before, but I'm going to wash them again because, well, I mean, especially now, right? In pandemic times, it doesn't hurt to wash your hands a number of times, because why wouldn't you? Okay. Now we're going to scoop and roll everything in the delightful cinnamon sugar. She said, I want this kind of heaping, and then you're going to shape it into balls about that big. Nice. Oh, this dough smells great. That surprises me. I don't know why, but it does. And we're supposed to put, she said to do 12 to a cookie sheet, so. This is a lot of cookies. This was the week I was going to start trying to eat healthy again. That was a dumb thing to promise myself, as it turns out. Nah, okay, that's too much. Heaping is one thing, but man, Ken, don't want to make a giant cookie. 6, 7. Yeah, this was not part of the plan for this week. The recipe I'm going to do tomorrow is, not tomorrow, on Friday. It was supposed to be today, but ingredients are still on the way. Had to order some stuff, so. I always lose count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 10. And I'm trying to be kind of precise about this, just because you want them to all bake, you know, at the same rate. And I guess if they were too different in size, that could be a problem. You would get some that were overbaked and some that were underbaked, and that's not good either. I do like the feel of dough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, 12. There we go. There's the first 12. Nah. All right. And now we just get to roll these and put them on. And she said it was an ungreased baking sheet. So that's what I'm going to do. Ungreased baking sheet. So just roll it around. Oh, I love cinnamon sugar. Cinnamon sugar donuts used to be my favorite donuts in the world. And now I couldn't tell you. I like donuts, period. It doesn't really matter. I'm not as big of a fan as the filled ones, like jelly donuts and stuff. I'm like, okay. Don't like anything with coconut, but that's just because I don't like coconut. I'm thinking I should do 3. Should I do 4? 4 to a row? And then, or should I do 3 to a row and 4 rows of 3, and that gives things more room to spread? I think that's what I'm going to do, because I can't remember how much these cookies spread out or not. I love the smell. The smell of cinnamon and sugar. Should get a candle that smells like cinnamon sugar. They probably mess up the cinnamon scent, right? I don't think people have managed to reproduce that well in candle form. At least they haven't for like air fresheners and stuff. I haven't come across a cinnamon that actually smells like cinnamon should smell. It just ends up smelling weird and artificial and yeah. Okay. Sorry, I know I'm taking a long time to do this. Hope everybody else's week has been going pretty good. We're halfway through. We're halfway through the week, so we'll get there. Friday will be here before we know it. And then it's time for fun weekend plans of some sort, depending on where you live, I guess. And I'm really greedy with my cinnamon sugar, so that's why I take a little bit extra time, I guess, rolling things around. Because, yeah, I want to make sure it's all covered. I don't even think about it, but I guess altitude makes a big difference. I have only really ever lived here. I've lived for a little while. I lived back east. I lived in Delaware and I lived in Tennessee. But I didn't do any baking, so I didn't see, firsthand what the difference is that altitude would have on baking things. But I guess it's pretty intense. So when they include high altitude directions, you better listen to them apparently, because It's a mess if you don't, and nothing turns out correct at all. And then while we do, after this first batch is in the oven, then I continue to prep the second batch, I guess. Oh man, this smells so good. Okay. So what is your favorite kind of cookie? I like Snickerdoodles. I wouldn't say that they're my favorite necessarily, but I do enjoy them. All right, so here we go. They are ready to go into the oven. The oven is at 400 degrees, and she said to bake them for 7 minutes. All right, so there we go, 7 minutes on the clock. I think it's 7 to 8 minutes, yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and we will prep the next batch. And yeah, can do that. So yeah, this is so far going much better. And I realize now that I can just do this. Wow, I'm smart. I am the sharpest tool in the shed, I tell you. Duh, Ken. How dumb is that? I could have just been doing that the whole time. Ah. I am not the sharpest tool in the shed, obviously. That's okay. That's fine. This is how we learn. And once again, I am making a huge mess. Probably don't even need to be making a mess, do I? But I am. I don't know how those restaurant chefs do it. You see them on TV and they just, everything just is perfectly timed. Everything comes out at the time it needs to. Their stations are always nice and clean. Except for Worst Cooks in America, which Corina has threatened more than once to send me on. And honestly, I would probably prefer that to something like Nailed It. Because I think on things like Worst Cooks in America, they actually give you reasonable time limits to do things in. And Nailed It, they really don't seem to. I would say that they make it much harder than it has to be. And I know that the entertainment value of that show is just watching people mess up. So I get that, but still, it's I don't know. I do like watching that show, though. We both do. We love that. Nicole Byer is funny as heck on that show. Absolutely. On tape and editing. Yeah, you're right. I'm sure you're right. That probably has a lot to do with it. Because, yeah, on tape and editing means everything comes out. And of course, they do swap outs, don't they? On Cooking Channel and Food Network, they already have stuff. The final dish has been made. So it's not a big deal. All right, we've got about 3 minutes and 40 seconds left. And oh man, this smells good. So yeah, I think you're right. It probably is editing. Okay, I don't feel nearly so bad. It doesn't help that everything is harder when your allergies are going crazy like mine are. Now the second batch of dough seems to feels more crumbly than the first, and it's dumb because it's all the same dough, right? I don't know why it would be like that. But sometimes it really just do be like that, I guess. Corina's excited because she gets cookies later on today. This will be good. At some point, I will try to do something like a cheesecake, but that's going to have to be like a weekend version of this show, and there's a lot more time to spend on something that involved. If I didn't want to be serious about it, I could just drink and then do the live stream of me trying to cook and or bake intoxicated. Probably cooking. I mean, we just know that baking would end up badly if I was intoxicated. But that doesn't seem to me like the spirit of the endeavor. Although I'm sure there are YouTube channels that have done just that, and they get tons of views because, you know, watching drunk people do things. What's not to laugh at? What's not to like and watch? Okay, so this batch is ready. We're just waiting for the other batch to be done. And then I can kind of swap them out. And don't worry, I'm not going to keep you guys here while I cook all of the batches of these, but after the first batch is cooled, I'll show them off to you, and I'll taste one and see just how badly I messed this up. Because, yeah, it should be interesting. I wonder if I can peek a little bit. Ooh, okay, well, they are definitely puffing up. That's cool. They're not flat. Although I guess the real tell will be after they've been out of the oven for a little bit, and then once they've cooled down, if they like sink and become really flat. But I don't think that's going to happen. I have high hopes that's not going to happen. All right, here we go. We'll go ahead and get these out. Whew. Oh, yeah. Can you see? They're puffy. That's good. Cross your fingers. I hope they stay that way. All right, so now I am going, she also warned me not to put the bacon sheet on top of the oven to cool, because it won't. It'll continue to bake the cookies because the oven gets warm on top when you're baking stuff. All right, so I've got it kind of across the double sink here, so it's just sitting on there. That should work. Okay, so now let's do it again. In goes the next batch. I'm going to try these at 7 minutes. She did say to let these cool for about 2 minutes before I transfer them to the cooling racks that I have set up. So let me, in the meantime, I will go ahead and just roll a couple more out. Sorry, you're not done watching me roll stuff yet. Almost, though. Nah. I immediately forget the order of doing stuff. And see, look at that. It's a lot more crumbly. That's so weird. I wonder why. Did I not? No, I'm not supposed to use more egg than you need, right? It wouldn't make any sense. Okay. Ken has exploded the kitchen. No matter how I try. Sandy, have you done that? I mean, does every time you bake result in just stuff everywhere? No matter how hard you try to work clean. And Sean, how about you? You don't bake that much, though. I know Aaron does, though. I know Aaron bakes. I mean, I know you make yummy, savory dinners and stuff, but how does that work for you? Every time, even if they don't stay fluffy, Snickerdoodles will still taste good. That's true. I think these are going to be okay. I think they're going to stay mostly fluffy. Certainly look good. Okay. I will stop what I'm doing with this because I can do the rest of this after the live stream has ended, and I'm going to now get these off of there and onto the cooling rack. They seem to have maintained most of their height, which I think is encouraging. So yeah, onto the cooling rack. I wish you guys, well, you know what the kitchen smells like when you do this, I'm sure. Thank God for cooling racks. And I love the fact that you don't have to use parchment paper for whatever reason with these cookies. That's really cool. I like that. Let's see here. Sister-in-law is very good at clean as you go, and I'm not. Yeah, I'm feeling you right now. It's all right. Yeah, this is so far so good. I think I'm doing okay. Got about 3 minutes left on the clock here. These are going to be ready. I am so excited for this. Again, not good for my waistline. I really need to start eating better if I want to still fit into my pants. But, you know, I don't know why I decided that it would be a good idea for someone who's as worried about their weight as I am to do a cooking show. That was not maybe the smartest thing, Kim, if you're that worried about your clothes fitting properly. Okay. The other one that cookie that she makes that's fun is the Bright-Eyed Susans with lingonberry jam. If you haven't had lingonberry jam, get lingonberry jam. It tastes unlike any other berry jam I've ever had, and it's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11. Crumbly dough. We've got 1 minute 14 seconds left on the second batch. So this part, at least, it feels like I'm right on schedule with getting everything together. And here it is, the last cookie. Just get some of this in there. Pack it in there real good. I love dishers for this. I mean, when I was a kid, of course, I didn't know about that wonderful way of doing things. I believe the first time I ever saw anyone do that was Elton Brown on Good Eats. I was like, ooh, that's a great idea. Why would you not do that? All right, 23 seconds on the next batch, and I'm going to go ahead and quickly transfer these to the baking sheet. So I can just do a quick swap. Those other ones come out of the oven. There we go. And don't want to forget this. Whew. All right. Oh, those are puffy and wonderful looking too. Put these in the oven. Let's do 7 minutes on the clock again. These also came out nice and puffy. Put that back there. Okay, so now let me show you close up here. This looks like these actually maintained their height pretty well, their puffiness. That's all blown out, isn't it? There, that's better. You can kind of see they did maintain their height pretty well. There we go, that's better. And yeah, I'm pretty psyched to try this. So this is it, my attempt at my wife's Snickerdoodle recipe. That's good. It is not, it's not crunchy. It's soft, and there's just the perfect texture on the outside of it to where you get a little bit of a kind of a crunch when you bite down, but the inside, look how nice and soft that is. Stupid autofocus. But yeah, this is good. Yay. It worked. It worked. I am so happy. I have made Snickerdoodles, and they do not suck. I cannot tell you how happy I am right now that this actually worked. Okay. So, the lesson here is that this all probably goes much faster when you're not trying to walk other people through it while you're doing it and running cameras. So I think under normal circumstances, I would not be quite as slow as I was just now. But yeah, I am excited about this. I am happy with this. I will call this a win. So as I said at the beginning of the episode, I will at some point transcribe Corina's recipe and put it in the description window over on YouTube and on Facebook. Thank you. Thanks for joining me. Thank you for spending time with me. I hope your morning's been good. Maybe you learned something from watching me fumble my way through this whole procedure. And this was just fun. This was a lot of fun. I really did enjoy that. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm excited. So Friday, what am I going to be making on Friday? See, I don't need this camera anymore. So I can look up the recipe, actually, that I was going to, I can tell you guys what exactly I'm going to be doing. on Friday. Did I not bookmark it? I didn't bookmark it. Man, I'm an idiot. Everything I do. So dumb. Okay. It is this really neat Asian dish that involves cabbage and Japanese mayonnaise and the sauce that's like soy sauce but not soy sauce. It looks tasty. And so I did have to order some of those ingredients. They will be here tomorrow, supposedly, so that I can do this for you live on Friday. So I'm excited. This looks really good, and it doesn't look like it's going to be that hard. So, but anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you back here on Friday at 9:30 Pacific time. Have a good day. Be good to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to other people. Stay safe, and yeah, I will see you. I'll see you on Friday, and we'll go from there. All right. Take care, everybody.